The coolest way to intro this song is that it's the shortest song, but I feel like there's the most stories from it, or like there's the most to talk about from it.
Try just a little, take my hand. Try just a little, won't you want to? Try just a little, if you don't, so try just a little.
Well, I mean, this is the first song we've ever released that fans were annoyed that it was too short.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that means we've made it.
Yeah.
You know, when fans get annoyed at you, it's like,
okay,
I did
cool.
something right. Finally they care.
Yeah, it's like if you have a relationship with your girl and like you never argue, it's like, all right, what are we even doing here? Like, there's no passion.
Yeah, we finally got like passion from our fans. Yeah, they all ground together and wanted to kill us. Yeah.
But I think the first place to start with this one is the fact that it's first. The hi, hello, I was just like, I pulled it up and played it real quick. I feel like that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Because it almost felt like a welcome back to this next wave, right? And even like with that in mind, how we structured the way that the track listing was, specifically for the vinyl, like we wanted it to be an opener of some respect, but it didn't make it to that #1 spot. So when you flip the vinyl and you start that, it's like checking back in on your hi, hello. It's like a cool, happy coincidence.
And I remember when we wrote it, the idea was, can we write a song that's not romantic? Again, can we challenge ourselves and not go to our natural romantic instinct and write a song about like someone sort of having a wall up to you and breaking through that. What I remember from writing this was, obviously this is one of the earlier songs that we wrote with the project in mind, and I was getting very in my head that some of the earlier songs we were writing, the concepts weren't there, and in my typical fashion, kind of just running around in my brain. And I remember the day we wrote 2 songs, I think back to back, and one of them was...
Yeah, we were in a phase too there for a while, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but where we were just doing hooks. That's a good memory because and
that was you that sort of said like, hey, I think we're kind of a little too heady, a little too in our brain, which was your way of saying I'm a little too heady, I'm a little too in my brain.
No, but I think like at the end of the day, we were trying to find the best hook. And we're doing all this extra shit that wasn't really necessary.
I think, we were sort of lost in the sauce a little bit, and you were like, let's just write a great hook melody. It doesn't matter what the song's about, and that was Try. And I remember that original melody and those lifts, and it was cool because it sort of snapped us back into a workflow that was really productive for the rest of the album.
Yeah.
And it became a song just about checking in with someone and this sort of struggle of wanting to be there for someone that isn't ready to let you in.
Yeah.
And I think it was a tough concept for us to discuss because it's a lot easier to talk about falling in love rather than, the frustration that lies with someone like having to go through their own thing and not needing you to solve their problem yet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to give them the space and while having this badass pop melody to go along with it. But that's one of obviously many things about this song.
Yeah, I even think about the element of like, when we were working on the production side of things, there was a whole version of it where instead of it going halftime in that part, which was like one of those aha moments, but it used to be, try just a little, take my hand. And almost like made it sound like a Six Flags like version of the song. And when we were doing it, we were trying to be ambitious, push ourselves, do something sonically like, but I think at the end of the day, it just didn't make sense. The halftime just made it feel so much better and like you kind of eased into a little pocket. And
the strings too, man.
The strings were, great.
Oh, you did such cool shit on that song, man.
But the whole song like builds you up with this tempo to thinking that you're gonna fall into this, 4 on the floor quick. And I think when you flip it on its head like that, almost like the Attention Charlie Puth thing, it's like not exactly like the dropout chorus, but it has like a shock factor to it that makes it work so well. And even like to the visual component of that song, like, wow, what a story, right? Like the idea that we did our whole Asia tour for the first time and that wasn't enough, right? We had to add a whole music video shoot with a whole team of people that for the most part didn't speak English.
Our director spoke zero English.
And everyone like obviously made it so easy to work with them, but it's still a language barrier, right? And still the challenge of working with a lot of people that you don't know in a place that is completely unfamiliar.
I'll never forget when we were gearing up to shoot our first location, and I pulled up my Google Translate, and I wrote this whole thing, and I brought it up to our director. Her name, what was her name? It's gonna leave me. I forget her name. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names, so
Sorry.
don't ask me.
She was great, but I brought my phone up to her, and it was like, "How do you want us to act in this scene?" And it was just like this, like, what are we? Where are we right now? We're in Seoul, South Korea. We connected to this team through these serendipitous, routes, and now we're shooting a video till 4 a.m. in 10-degree cold weather.
It was freezing, yeah.
Yeah, I remember one thing from that shoot is you and I are hustlers and we'll do whatever it takes to make the shot happen. But we were pushed to our limit. At 3 a.m., I remember being like, we don't need a music video. We could just go home now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other things from the video stand out to you?
Oh, there's a funny story of like, we were talking about how we shot it as long as we did. And we had a day in between the last show we did of tour in Seoul, which was incredible, great show. And then we had the day off. We were able to like kind of rejuvenate. And then the next morning, but we still started that day. We woke up at like 4:30 or something like that in the morning.
Yeah.
And I remember when we took the car to get to where we did the hair and makeup and got dressed and all that, we were pulling up to the location and I saw people like coming up from the night before that were partying on, like, obviously, because I think we shot that on a Sunday.
Yeah,
they must have been partying on like a Saturday night.
And they were walking in the street.
There were zombies in the street, and I was like, yo, this is, it was cool to like think about, like that used to be us in New York, and here we are like in Asia doing this, and I don't know, just being in Seoul in general was like a whirlwind, and it's like reflecting on that there's so many little snippets, even like us sitting in the car in between takes because we were frozen with the actress that was in it. And like we were all sitting there like, so,
yeah,
where are you from?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm from Hibboleth. Yeah. And like having those little moments and that was like the beginning of this whole journey of this album.
What's interesting is that I don't think a lot of people would know, but we decided we want to try to be the first single without writing a lot of the rest of the album. I feel like a lot of bands have their different ways to go about writing a record, but you and I have always been like, if a song feels good, we're gonna put it out. And I think, it was kind of ballsy to decide this is a single, shoot a whole music video, and have no idea what really for sure is gonna come next.
Yeah.
And it was a big message for the first video to be in another country and to have a different feel to it. Felt like a little abstract, a little peculiar, and it set the tone that we're just trying to do different things.
I was gonna say, needless to say, we tried just a little. Hopefully not too much.
We change like the weather, apart together. It's been 20 years now. It felt like.
Sup, boy?
Why are you being...
Yo.
Sup, boy?
Thanks for coming here, man.
Yo, thanks. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, real quick, favorite part of Riding the Weather, go.
Riding the weather?
Yeah,
I thought
go.
you said red in the weather.
Favorite part
riding
of
the weather?
Riding the Weather, yeah.
Oh man, just reflecting on our adolescence, my adolescence. I think that's the best part about the song, right? It's like, the nostalgia song.
Yeah, I remember when we were writing it, we said we didn't want it to be too romantic, because that was one of the first ones we wrote for the project.
It's funny too, because you say romantic. I don't even think of that song as romantic.
I'm just such a romantic that everything
You
we
just
write,
need to make it romantic.
I need to
yeah.
make it
It has
romantic.
to be
Yeah.
romantic.
No, but I mean, I feel like I remember. It's been. How long has it been since we wrote it? It's been
a minute.
Yeah. So I mean, if I can recall, I think the idea was that can we write a song that's not romantic? Like that was while still being the typical flyby punch.
Yeah. I think the funny thing is too, like even when I joined your friend group in New York, those became like really close friends of mine. Thinking about your life, high school, before high school, all that, growing up with them, I have like a small group of friends that I could even imagine that this song relates to. You know what I mean? In terms of like Florida.
Yeah.
And like, so we have this shared friend group, but then we have these lives even past us that like, we aren't even familiar with, because you've obviously met my close friends too back home.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like this song is about that, like the lives that we had before us that we reflect on, and which is like where the 20 years things comes from, right? Because like, it's a cheeky lyric, because 20 years, it feels like forever. Like 20 years is a long ass time, but like, it's not forever. And 20 years is a long time, but like it also goes by that quick, right? So it's
Yeah, and I remember when we were writing the verses, it was like sort of the nerves of catching up after not seeing them for a while. And yeah, you and I could both relate. Sometimes when we go back to our hometowns and we see our friends, it's like it feels like nothing's changed, but then you have those moments where, yeah, you're like, whoa, like you're married, you have kids, and we are sort of moving at light speed while there are some things that like stay frozen in time.
yeah.
And yeah, I just remember when we were writing the verse, I must look
Dumb.
dumb, my hands feel clammy. Like that idea of just like, I think of like girls that I sounded very Staten Island when I just said, I think of girls.
I think of this girl, Juliana.
Pretty much from Staten Island, and like I had a lot of best friends that were girls, and like I have seen them over the years, and it feels like it's like weird. I do get like this like nervousness of like, oh wow, we're not like who we were years ago. But as the chorus says, feels like we only get better, and yeah, you sort of grow with them.
Yeah. What did they say that like you hit your peak, right, in high school? For
Yeah.
us, we're always reaching for our peak.
Yeah. Did you feel like you hit your peak in high school? I was lame in high school.
Nah. I mean, I definitely had like the stereotypes of like the quarterback and like.
Tell them you were also, what did you won King of Life or something?
Nah, man. If you ask my mom, Mr. Pine Ridge.
Yeah,
That's how she would say it. But yeah, man, I don't know. I definitely fit the stereotype of those. But I feel like even like anyone can relate to the idea of like having high school feel like the peak of your existence, and then like you get out of school and then you think back on all those people and those stories, and it's like, wow, that was only like, those were lessons that you took with you, but that was nothing close to what you're going to experience in life,
For sure.
As much as you learn from it.
Do you remember? I remember when we were writing the concept, we had the idea of what we wanted to write about, but we couldn't like personify what the nostalgia was. Yeah. And I remember we went back and forth with like specific weather or some different ideas, and then we landed on like, no, just the weather. The weather changes, it grows, it has all these different shapes and stuff. And I remember when we unlocked that, it was really cool. Yeah. And this is another one on the album that we just wrote, just you and I.
Yeah.
Was it a quick write? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I could probably pull it up in the session and let you know. I mean, yeah, from my knowledge, the chorus we wrote really quickly, and then like it was one of those that we kind of dissected into different days, or like we even like spread it out. Maybe a month from now we'll pick this back up and dial it in, but which doesn't happen all the time, and it worked out for this one. But I don't know, playing this one live, it feels like everyone just has that like little smirk moment, and then you're able to have fun with it. And I don't know, even the sonics of it just feel very nostalgic to the shit we grew up on. And
definitely, yeah, I remember we referenced like Boys Like Girls or some other nostalgic bands from our childhood. Yeah.
Are we gonna kiss? You're looking at me all romantic. This guy is romantic.
Okay, alright, all day, all night, SuperFine. I just wanna feel that way, that vibe.
I feel like SuperFine is like the dark horse of the album, right?
Yeah, it's
got,
definitely, production-wise too, it feels like it's in a different world.
Got a little grit to it. The subject matter of it is a little like, more intense, I guess, if in respect of like things in respect to the things we've written about before.
Yeah, but it's like the typical flyby, like dress it up in wrapping paper that still feels so.
It also
so
is
fun.
sexy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like a nice suave feeling to it.
For me, sometimes I feel like nothing new walked, so SuperFine can run.
Yeah.
They are sort of like sister songs,
Yeah.
and I mean, of course, like different concepts, but like, yeah, I feel like every album now we have these like, I don't want to say electronic, but more electronic songs. Would you consider it that? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's funny too, because I feel like the way that even on the production end, I was able to mask like making this still feel like its own version of, because they definitely are comparable, because a lot of it is like the arpeggiation of it is very similar.
Yeah.
But like those are the meat and potatoes of the song.
Sure.
Which, funny enough, are with two different producers that even like are responsible for those parts. But past myself, the thing that on this record I feel like that I leaned more into was like the same like live drum sound on top of that dark. So like when that comes in, all sample still, but has a very live feel to it, which I feel like is what made it feel a little bit different than Nothing New.
Yeah, what's cool about this one, it's one of maybe a handful on the album that we obviously worked with another collaborator on, and a co-producer, Cook Classic.
Cook, shout out.
And yeah, it was cool. We were in his studio that day. And for a lot of people that don't know, we met him that day.
Yeah.
We came in, we wrote Superfine. He was sort of in his like production land, brought in some cool elements, and then we sort of like took it home. Like, yeah, it's just, I feel like a lot of those songs we do that, right? We go in, we meet the person, we shake their hand, get our song, and then we kind of go home and build it in our own way, right?
Yeah, it's funny too, because I feel like sometimes in these sessions, we leave them thinking like, oh, I don't know what this is going to be or how it's going to work. But for some reason, leaving that session, I don't know how you felt. I know some songs in the album you may be more confident, but that one, like to me, it just felt like it could be so cool that I had confidence in it in that respect. And like, I think for us too, we're always looking for ways to come across as more mature and like, because we are maturing, you know what I mean? There's in our music, I feel like our goal is to like sonically improve and feel more mature. And if anything even has a touch of that, it's like, okay, now how do we crack that code and like make that even more than it is? Which even like past Cook, leaving us with that beautiful sample that runs throughout the whole song. Even Miles to the visual. Like when I think of this song, there's a lot of things that like the collaborators we worked on with helped create this image on this album that like was like the cool, sexy, sleek version of us.
I mean, to your point, we loved the song so much that we felt like this needs a visual that is elevated, you know? And I tell the fun story that after we worked on it with Miles, who is now like a friend and frequent collaborator of ours, I remember, it wasn't out yet, right? It was like I guess a private version. And you showed it to your wife, Megan. And I remember Megan telling you and then telling me later that night.
Larchmont living room, right?
In the Larchmont living room.
Yeah.
And she was like, you guys just look, I don't know, you look older. And I was like, in a bad way? She's like, no. And I'm like, your wife for years has been thinking we look like little chipmunks in videos. And this is the first time we're cool, you know? So yeah, I felt like the video, it embodied the coolness of the song. I think you looked great in it. I think I looked pretty cool in it. And it was a fun shoot day. It was a little bit different of a concept. Like it was more aesthetic based.
Yeah, right. There really was no narrative to it.
No, which was refreshing, I think.
Yeah, honestly, when I think of that video, and this is gonna sound like a diss to it, but like it almost comes across as like 4 Pinterest ideas that came together and visually like created this
like vignettes.
world.
Sure. Yeah.
Which honestly, sometimes when you simplify the idea, and those are some of our best videos, some of our most popular too.
Yeah, and to that point, I think the reason we went with that idea was the concept is sort of dark-esque, right? And like, I think if we would have went with a narrative video, it would have been more challenging in a lot of ways. And I mean, I just remember us writing that hook very quickly, and my brain always goes, did it happen too quick? Is it too simple? And I just remember you being like, nah, man, that's it. And a lot of the time we have those moments, right? Where we're like, if it feels good, you know, sign, seal, deliver it, and Yeah, it's funny too, hopefully to wrap up this idea, but like the thought of how we work a lot, we always strive for like the most specific, detailed, like unique lyric, and hooks are different, but even the verse in this song are pretty straightforward. Maybe we got a little quirky with the pre-chorus, the 86 and go. 86
My
and go.
tendency is latency, like no one really speaks like that, right? It's kind of quirky in that way, but the chorus is like right down the middle, just pop. We're gonna give you something that's super melodic, but the lyric is gonna be okay, all right, all day, all night, super fine.
Yeah.
The saving grace of it though is Superfine is a unique concept, word, title.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it made up with like the 86 moment where like, if you worked in the food business, which I was a waiter for many years while we did flyby and stuff. That's just like a quirky, like flyby moment, you know, to put it in there. It's definitely one of my favorites on the album, and I feel like it is an outlier in its cool way. Yeah,
we're gonna start doing in the next album more homages to the food business.
Everything.
Corner.
Hey, you didn't work in the food business. How do you know that?
I watched The Bear. Chill.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.